This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor and this is Juan. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We are Apple affiliates. Go to your Apple Podcast, type our names in, and you'll see us right there. We're also available on any other podcast platforms you guys will choose to use. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Type in Sports Dynasty Podcast. You'll see us right there. Be a part of the conversation. What a Super Bowl there was last night. You know what I'm saying? Really, very, very interesting Super Bowl. A lot of entertainment. The halftime show was pretty good, you know. Yeah, it was great. How you feeling, bud?
I'm good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better now. I don't know who had a worse night last night. Was it myself or Eli Apple? So yeah, I got totally
That has
destroyed.
nothing to do with football.
But the point is, yeah. But the point is, yeah, bad. But I feel good though. Yeah.
I like this Super Bowl. It's better than a few of them in the past. I don't know how other people feel. I'm hearing a couple of the boring chants for that second half when the defenses came out of the locker room and started doing their thing.
I don't understand why people are even saying anything about those people. Most of those people who watch the Super Bowl, a big portion of them are casual people who just watch the Super Bowl every year because the party, they're watching it. Most of those people don't know anything about football, so I take what they say with a grain of salt. So yeah, who cares? It was a great Super Bowl.
I thought it was pretty good. Like I thought it was better than last year's because it was an annihilation.
Of course.
I thought it was partially better than the one before that, Kansas City's win over the San Francisco 49ers, because it was more of a kind of in the meat of the game was kind of a beating, and then Kansas City had their epic finish. Say it was better than the one before that, 53, the defensive struggle. I think it was more back and forth in both sides of the ball versus it was just a defensive struggle throughout the entirety of that game. I don't like a lot of points in playoff games. So 52, that's the Eagles win. When you see 40 and 30, I don't like that. I like defense. 51, in terms of the game, this game was better because it was a ass whooping for 2.5, almost 3 quarters, and then that epic Tom Brady comeback was the only thing that saved the game from being a complete disgusting beatdown. Super Bowl 50, that was a bad game because that was not just defense, it was just sloppy offensive play on both sides of the ball. There was a difference between 53 and 50. 53 was not sloppy play, that was defensive plays making played all over the game. 50 was just a completely disgusting offensive. But that's what that was. That sound describes that game. That was a boring game. That was one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever seen. 49 is the best Super Bowl ever. I don't care what anybody tells me. That Tom Brady versus the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. That's the best Super Bowl ever. 48 was garbage. That was a ass whooping literally from the first snap. 47, it was like the longest Super Bowl because Beyonce wanted to cause a blackout in New Orleans. But that was an ass whooping for first half. Like there was not even close to a contest, and then
the lights went out.
Yeah, like it wasn't that good. This Super Bowl to me was better. 46 was a good Super Bowl. And 45, that's Green Bay and
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. That was a good Super Bowl. So I think this one ranks up with the rest of them. I'm sure almost everyone's going to disagree. They're going to use the word boring here. But I feel like if you don't like games like this, you're not a real football fan to me. I'm sorry. I'll say it out loud.
I agree.
I'm sorry. If you like that Arena League Super Bowl 52 garbage, then I don't think you're a football fan. You're supposed to like every side of the ball, not just offense. Well, yeah, I enjoyed this Super Bowl very much. Unfortunately, my guy didn't win the game. Boo-hoo. But
he played well.
He played well enough. I'm sure there's a couple plays that he liked to have back. There's a couple of overthrown balls and bad balls he liked to have back. He didn't play his best game. But congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm. They finally did it.
They did it. It paid off. Buying your way to a Super Bowl paid off.
They did. Good job by Sean McVay from getting the proverbial monkey off his back. Because I thought it was looking like, oh, they may lose this. I thought they were to lose this out. But we'll get to parts of the game where I thought where the tide really changed for everything. But yeah, it was a good showing. Sean McVay, good job for him. I'm happy for Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
Aaron Donald, one of the best ever.
I like when all-time greats get it done.
Yes, and mind you, we played 8 seasons. 8 seasons in the league.
2014 was he drafted.
Is already an all-time great already. And he's just only 30 years old. He's in the prime of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary talented he is. Great. I'm happy for him. There was talks about when he retired. It was, I don't want to hear about that. Even if we talked about it off the air, it was like, what else do you have to prove, Aaron Donald? You're already up there with up there.
You're up there with Saps of the world, with the Randalls of the world, with all these guys, the Deacon, even go close to the Deacon Joneses of the world. I think he's really comparable to all those guys. I'm not saying he's better or worse, but he has a career that's very similar to that in the passing league. And he's done it in not even 10 seasons. And he's up that part. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, now Super Bowl champion, and he made the game-winning sack to win the Super Bowl. I mean, what more can you ask for? Has how many 20 sack seasons for a defensive tackle? Oh yeah, not really much to ask for here.
Playing the entire season. Now, this is not a knock on TJ Watt. He had an incredible season this year. Incredible season. He almost broke the record playing less games, and he missed games. So that's incredible. But I like seeing players like that. I like seeing defensive players like that, just completely dominating and taking control of a game like that. And he definitely did.
In that second half.
The second half, he definitely took over the second half. That was one of the better second half I've seen in Super Bowl in a long time. I love defense. We love defense, so that's why I enjoyed it the most. But good for him. Jalen Ramsey, for the most part, he's a Super Bowl champion, whatever, right there. But he didn't have a great game here. He was struggling.
He actually didn't have a good season. Yeah. He was okay. He wasn't that good of a corner this year. It was very obvious, literally from the beginning. We've seen him get diced up a lot. Jamar Chase had him a few times.
Oh yeah.
And there was one snippet at the end of that 4th and 1 to end the game. He got beat again by Jamar Chase, but Burrow didn't have time to heave the ball up. And that would have been a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Which we kind of was wondering in the preview of the game how this offensive line was going to be able to handle this Rams rush. And let's be honest, 7 sacks is a lot. And it could have been a lot worse than that. But we kind of figured that was going to happen. Especially when we had
football logic actually came to prevail in this game. You know, it didn't follow the 2021 mold of ignoring football logic and football expertise. Wish they told us that. We would have picked the Rams like we wanted to.
which was kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
But, congratulations to the Rams, though. It's a big win for them. And Matthew Stafford, too. Matthew Stafford proved one thing to me in this season alone. That
Detroit is a horrific franchise that doesn't deserve to exist?
Yes. The Detroit Lions franchise. Yes, you said it. I couldn't say it better than me. That he wasn't the problem. They were. And it was interesting seeing a lot of, how when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay last year, you see a divided fan base from New England saying, all right, divided. It's the same thing how it was with the Rams. Because they had a lot of Detroit Rams shirts, which I thought was disgusting. It was horrible. But, it was a divide in the Lions fan base saying that, he's not a Ram, he's not a Lion anymore. But he wasn't really the problem. He's like, we can do with Jared Goff, but it shows that he's not the problem. It was your franchise is just complete garbage. And the fact that, people still believe that there's a bandwagon Lions fan. Don't know how that's possible.
I don't know why you mentioned that garbage.
Yeah, garbage. But anyway, good for Matthew Stafford. Good for him.
Now you see what happens when you put him in the limelight. He had a great playoffs.
Yes.
Play good on basically every game.
Now, what does this mean? What does it mean for him now? I think he's still under contract with them for another year or so.
Oh, yeah.
Another year or so. So he may want to run it back. The NFC is literally wide open because besides them, the rest of the NFC
is not wide open. It's only like a team that's in contention.
No,
the AFC is wide open.
No, what I meant to say was it's literally them.
Yeah.
And it's like there's nobody else even around them. So
only San Francisco as of right now.
Yeah, so
Because we don't know what's happening with Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, but let's keep it real. I think we know the result of that by now.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, not even that. They weren't going to do anything anyway because Aaron Rodgers is a loser. So that you can take that out right now. Dallas is hilarious with Mike McCarthy, so they're not in real contention of anything. And the NFC South might be the worst division of football next year. It's a possibility.
Yes,
so
that 8 games may win this division.
Yeah, like it's really bad. So did I forget division?
No,
I didn't. I got them all. Okay, yeah. So
yeah, it's literally San Francisco and the Rams.
Yeah,
because Arizona. Let's forget Arizona's a joke.
Yeah, especially all the reports about Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are having a marriage beef with each other, and they, for all we know, might get divorced. Doubt it, but apparently there's turmoil there. So we might be able to guarantee that the next Super Bowl will not have their team hosting the Super Bowl again. Of course not. That will get cut. So because next Super Bowl is in Arizona, so we can probably safe to assume that that's not going to happen. So with the rest of this offseason is huge, and I'm so excited to do the coverage for this offseason. It's going to be huge. Yes. It's going to be so much fun because the NFC needs to have a big offseason because, dude, like a lot of these teams, I'm using that sound a lot, but nah, they're not it. They're not it. So I'm excited to go through with the draft, go through free agency.
I'm very interested in what the Rams do in this offseason as well. This is what I'm because Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah, what are they doing? He's gonna retire.
He's gonna retire. He's done.
Von Miller's out because it was the end of his contract.
Which he'll probably retire anyway. I think he's done.
It's a possibility, yeah.
He may retire too.
Yeah, because this is what his 12th year coming up now. Yeah, he might retire. It's a possibility.
2 times.
He's another one who has nothing to prove. He's gonna be Hall of Fame player.
He's all-time great too.
Odell, God bless him. I think towards ACL. Damn, man.
They say he tore his ACL. It's the same ACL he tore in his knee last year.
No, it was one.
And we was in Cleveland when he tore his ACL.
Yeah, when he played against Cincinnati, apparently. Yeah. God bless him. But at least he got his championship, and he was killing in the first half.
He was incredible in the first half. But God bless him. He recovers.
Yeah, but he's gonna be gone. Is there anyone else?
Jalen Ramsey's still in the contract with them.
No, I think they had to extend him because
he wanted his money.
Yeah, because why would you trade for him? You're not going to extend him. That's probably it. I think. Yeah, I think that's it. So those are really big cornerstones right there that you need to replace. I mean, they will get Robert Woods back.
Yeah, Robert Woods coming back. So it's basically addition by subtraction.
I never thought that he was better than Odell anyway. So we'll see. But that they gotta find more pass rushers there for and let's say if the off chance that Aaron Donald does decide to retire, because why the hell would he? Why would he keep playing? That's a really
good point.
Yeah, huge loss that they had to figure out because the defensive line go from like B+ to A to D, just like that because they lost Aaron Donald. So they may have to figure it out if he decides to retire, which I doubt it.
Which his contract, he signed an extension 4 years ago, so it's coming up soon. So how are they going to pay him? Because remember, he's compared to TJ Watt's contract he got in Pittsburgh, he's severely underpaid. And don't get me wrong, TJ Watt deserves every single penny of it. But this is Aaron Donald.
The best defender in the league. So yeah.
So I don't know how to. He probably will get his money, just not with the Rams.
It's a possibility.
And that's where we'll see the demise of, but who cares now? They won a Super Bowl. So they'll take that. They'll say, listen, we bought a Super Bowl, we achieved it, and we come in 5 years with garbage. Who cares?
I don't like that. Because the point of view is not to win one. You're trying to win as many as possible.
I know. I understand that. Let's say
so. That's always not like it's kind of like I know you're not talking about basketball. It's kind of what the Lakers are kind of going through right now. They got the one chip, but it's like you're about to be garbage. I mean, you already are garbage now, but like LeBron's about to leave you in a year or two, and what are you going to do after that? Because Anthony Davis is trash. So you sold out and got all these veterans for one championship, and what's your franchise going to be for the next 5 to 10 years?
Some people, some
that's
teams,
not to me.
Some teams
that's not worth it.
Like Toronto did it the same. Toronto did the same thing. They knew that Kawhi Leonard was going to re-sign with them,
but they're not. They're about to hit the playoffs, and they have Siakam. They got again.
It's not basketball.
It's not football. I'm sorry, guys.
The point is, Some franchises are like that. Now, if they win another championship next year, if they repeat next year, which is possibly they can, depending if they how they structure their team is. But the point is, I'm saying that if they don't win another championship again, because obviously money's gonna be a part of it. People who want their money is like, nah, we're gonna get out of here. Matthew Stafford's probably there for one more year, and then after that, he'll decide what he wants to do after that. Maybe he want to go to another team, or he retires himself. Well, again, what does he have to prove now? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of variables on what he's gonna do. Now, problem is, what do you do if they somehow blow it up? If they somehow blow it up, and they only win one championship, I'm pretty sure that front office will say we'll take it. Now, you may not like that way of thinking, but some franchises will like to say, "Oh, they don't care. They're like, yo, we got a championship out of it. Who cares?"
No, you're right.
They've even though they were very popular enough, but you establish yourself. The Rams, especially when it came back to LA, I think this is a big.
That's
win.
about to say that now. Said this is huge for a business decision.
Yes, from a business standpoint, this is huge, and for the NFL, they are probably screaming and say yes, we
because now they can grab LA as like an NFL town, which will never be an NFL town because the Lakers are a thing. But at least they'll bring themselves as to relevancy in the city of LA.
Thank you.
And grabs the money from there. So
from there it worked. The Chargers are now literally second fiddle now because it's like you're garbage now. But yeah, so for the NFL gets the win for that. The Rams get the win. The Super Bowl champion, great job for them.
Yeah, and Cincy, look,
there's nothing to be ashamed about.
You weren't supposed to be here anyway. Let's keep it real.
You were not.
You were easily maybe one of. I'm trying to think through the whole AFC playoffs. You might have been the least talented team in the playoffs. I'm trying to think really hard. Maybe the Raiders. They actually beat because I don't think they were more talented than the Patriots. I think the Patriots had a way better defense. Yeah, and better run game, better offensive line. I would think the Patriots and Cincy probably close in terms of talent. But then after that, all the other teams were more talented than them. They were better than them throughout the season, but
it happens.
They did their thing in the playoffs like they're supposed to.
Again.
And you got your wins, all comebacks, by the way. And then, unfortunately,
like I said,
reality set in last night.
Like from business standpoint for Cincinnati, they obviously it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, the best thing I think they did was that Mike Brown doesn't make decisions there anymore. It's actually his daughter.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not
know that's why they got their free agent signings. They stopped being cheap. They got free agent signings.
Yes, I agree because Mike Brown ran the Bengals like a mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was very, very, very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, at least with them from a business standpoint, I'm glad you meant. Oh my God, this is actually gelling the way I didn't know. Anyway, yeah. So the point is,
yes, we know how to run a show.
Yes, the point is, sorry, I keep repeating myself that Cincinnati could be a destination for free agents now because you have, hey, they're in the right direction.
And you have, you can't see the jersey in the video, my bad, but you got the guy that is very attractive to people who want to play with him.
Yeah.
And he's proven a lot. That's why this postseason was huge for them. Not just because they went to the Super Bowl, but because now they're showing that they're changing. Yes. Possibly. We got one more year. We got a year to see if they're changing for real. But they're changing now. So they're not that lowly Ohio, Cincinnati Bengals crap heap that they've been for all the last 25 years or so. They're actually changing into a real franchise who's taking things seriously, who's actually trying to get that championship under them belts.
And with that, I think with this run that we've seen from the Cincinnati Bengals, now they're going to be more eyes on the product next year because they're going to get the max 5 primetime games next year. They guarantee 5 primetime games.
Yep. Let's see how they respond to it.
So let's see how they respond to even bigger game. Well, this is the biggest game you play, but now that the national public can see you more now, not just the regional or your division, we're going to see if you guys could really step up to the plate and contend with the Buffaloes, the Kansas Cities.
Because
in the AFC, and because they're coming. I mean, they're already there.
This is what we said earlier. This AFC is wide open. Y'all deal with the Kansas Cities, the Buffalo Bills. In your own division, you have to play hopefully a fully healthy Baltimore Ravens next year. You played the hurt versions, and they beat the hell out of them twice. So they do what they're supposed to do. But now you're gonna play against a fully healthy, full-on run attack Baltimore Ravens.
Who I believe
next year.
Who I believe will be stronger than ever because the fact that listen, they were 8-2 with the injuries. They were the number one seed in the AFC. It just the injuries was just too much to overcome, and it fell short. Which you know how pissed off Lamar Jackson probably was looking, saying, they must have forgot. John Harbaugh, which I love John Harbaugh. You think he not thinking, these Bengals really went to the Super Bowl. Oh no, we can't let that happen.
Yeah, now you have a target on your back in the
Yes.
AFC.
Yes.
You're the defending AFC champions. Let's actually talk about the actual game itself. I should start with that first before we start talking about this other stuff. Because let's keep it, it's kind of more fun to talk about. But let's talk about the game, and let's go for the reasons why the game went the way they went. Because the first half was very competitive, back and forth, big plays going on the entire time. The Odell Beckham touchdown was a breakdown on defense from single high safety coverage. I don't know why the hell the Cincinnati Bengals thought they had the personnel to do single high safety against this Rams offense. That was very bad. And Odell Beckham laughed at you and got that easy touchdown off of a beautiful stunt on route. It was wonderful. To go 7-0. Burrow went ahead and got the 3 after that. Another touchdown by Cooper Kupp later on in the game. Nice little back and forth. Mind you, the defense has played well throughout the entire game. Cincinnati defense out there played exceptionally well outside of that one play by Odell Beckham. That 4th and 1, I think it was down there Cincinnati's first drive that set up the touchdown for the Los Angeles Rams. That what the hell was that decision? I'm telling you,
there was no need for that.
I hate when people try to outcoach themselves. Like, I don't like that. That was no need to go for it on 4th and 1. Just get the punt. This is the Super Bowl. It was the first quarter, not the fourth quarter. Calm yourself. But give it in the midfield, set up that touchdown. But the first half went the way that probably most people thought it was, because I don't think anybody thought there was going to be a beating. Anybody thought it was going to be a bad showing by any one of these teams. 13-10 at the half. Okay.
Can't complain about that.
It's the second half that completely starts what the craziness that's happened, right? So the first play, no, the second play, I believe, was the T. Higgins touchdown, in which he blatantly grabbed the face mask of Jalen Ramsey, threw him on the floor, and the refs decided not to call that. Remember that. And he got a 75-yard touchdown.
And put them up 17-13.
Put them up 17-13. Then literally I believe it was the first play for the Rams. Matthew Stafford overshoots that number 18 receiver, who I don't know why he's around, because every time they throw at him, something bad happens. And Uzi caught an interception. Then it will become what? They got the field goal after that. Then it was a big defensive slugfest. Because in that drive, to me, was one of the reasons why Cincinnati lost this game. Joe Burrow goes for a scramble. He goes out of bounds, and he gets hit. Then the offensive line starts to fight with probably the worst person in the NFL to start a fight with, in Aaron Donald.
I don't know. Why would you do that?
Because after that,
he just went Super Saiyan.
He completely took over the game. After that moment, when they pissed him off, he took over the game and was just a one-man wrecking crew, and was able to open up holes for Floyd to get a sack, for Von Miller to get a couple sacks, quarterback hits left and right from Aaron Donald. But here is a question, which I'm going to question the coaching of Cincinnati more. Notice he was single covered a lot of the time in the second half. Why?
Why would you do that?
Because he wasn't at all in the first half. Why was he single covered? Why? I don't get it.
To a guy like Aaron Donald, that's blatantly disrespectful to him.
Especially with this weak ass offensive line.
It's actually,
why was he single covered? No bueno. Going on in the game, in the fourth quarter, more slugfest going on. Now we're gonna get in towards the end of the game. Let's go in the middle of the fourth quarter. 6 minutes left. To me, this is the play that lost Cincinnati the game. The play right here. 39, 6:22 left in the quarter. Convert this third down. Mind you, they went 3 for 12, I believe. 3 for 14 on third down, by the way, Cincinnati. So, again, Rams defense was excellent. 39, 6:22. Caught this, you're in midfield, and the game is under you at this point. You are up 4 at this point, 20-16. Tyler Boyd drops a 3rd-down-and-9 conversion play that would have done serious damage to Los Angeles Rams. Once he drops that, you have to punt the ball. This drive lasts not even more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, with like 5.5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And here goes the more controversial parts of the Super Bowl. Rams drive all the way down the field into the red zone. We are our 1st, 2nd, and goal, right?
Cooper Kupp
inside 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp had like 45 yards, 3 catches.
He basically got them down the field by himself
in that drive alone,
which is what won him Super Bowl MVP. 3rd and goal at Cincinnati 8-yard line. 1 minute 47 seconds left in the game. Ref ball happened. And when I say ref ball, I don't necessarily mean it was bad calls. It was, you have called only 2 penalties to this point in the entire game.
A lot of the games penalties that was blatant penalties you didn't call.
Yeah, exactly. You let them play all game.
They literally swallowed their whistles literally for most of this game, and then it happened.
Then you call the very, very weak. It was like, I guess in terms of the rule book, that was a holding call on the linebacker.
Yes, of course, yeah.
But very weak. It was very subtle. There was not much of a grab from the right hand, and you call that. If you don't call that, it is 4th and 8.
Game's on the line.
With the game on the line, you got to force them to make a play there. Why would they choose then to start calling whistles all of a sudden?
It's, again, we're not taking away anything from.
Yeah, we're not taking away from anybody. We're not talking about fix like a lot of the dumbass fans are saying online. We're not saying anything about no. We're just pointing out the fact that you swallowed your whistles all game long, and both teams were very physical. Many holding calls on both sides of the ball were not called. I saw, I think, 7 holding calls on both offensive lines combined, and they didn't call not one of them all game. I've seen a couple of times where receivers were getting headlocked basically downfield. They didn't call nothing. Like, all right, I said this from the 1st quarter, because there was a big holding call they didn't call when I saw a Rams cornerback holding on to, I believe it was T. Higgins. They didn't call it. And I said, that's all fine and dandy as long as you swallow the whistles for both sides of the ball all game. And you were doing that up until now. There were offsetting. So there's 2 more penalties called in 1st and 4. Literally the next play. And they called the more obvious holding call on Eli Apple on Cooper Kupp. And then the Rams wind up scoring a few seconds later after that play. They called a multitude of flags in that. There's 4 flags called in that one sequence. Only 2 throughout the whole game. 4 in this one right here, in this red zone trip for the Rams.
And they say
I just don't like the timing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. We like the players to decide the outcome of the game. Now, no one's saying that this decided the outcome. The Rams won the game because of that. No one's saying
because all we know that 4th down conversion, boom, Cooper Kupp gets open because come on.
What if it's 4th and 8 before the flag and he scores anyway? So what does that mean? But I don't like the fact that the referees definitely gifted them a 1st down with a very subtle holding call. I'm like, come on, you didn't have to call that. The holding call on Cooper Kupp, obviously.
Oh, that was come on.
Obviously, you have to call that.
That first holding call on 3rd and 8 was the only iffy call. Every flag called after that was legitimate. Yeah, it was definitely legitimate. Is that one, that 3rd and goal? That one, you don't call, especially this magnitude of a game, because it wasn't like obvious, blatant. You know what I mean? It was very subtle. And again, y'all didn't call more obvious stuff. Like, for example, the T. Higgins touchdown. Y'all didn't feel like calling that when he literally threw Jalen Ramsey down on the ground through his face. He literally slammed him, and you didn't call that. But you want to call this.
So, it's
like,
it's
come on.
A level of consistency, though. But
yes, there's your word.
But at the end of the day, the Rams did play well enough to win the game.
100%.
To win the game. Cooper Kupp did his thing in that last drive.
And now let's talk about the Cincy drive that ended the game, Aaron Donald's game when he sacked that 3rd down. Why was there a lack of Joe Mixon in that fourth quarter.
Why?
This is why I question, like, if I want to put a serious blame on someone in the Cincy side, it's probably their coaching staff. More likely Zach Taylor, because he's the one that has to handle substitutions and whatnot. I don't know why P. Ryan was in the game at all at the end of the game. Just give you that's when you put your best players to do their thing.
Especially since Joe Mixon early in the game had a lot of good runs. I'm like, even the fact that they struggled running the ball the entire game, but when they did run the ball, Mixon was running well when they were able to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't like the decision with having P. Ryan
run up the gut
on
third down.
Yeah, especially with everything going. No, there was no way. No, absolutely not.
And there's more things I'd like to say too. For example, on the offensive side for Burrow, why were they running a couple of like bootlegs for him to roll out, try to help relieve the pressure? Like, I didn't see any plays like that to try to help him get more time to throw downfield, versus you just keeping him in the pocket and having him step up when Aaron Donald's a thing and Leonard Floyd's a thing and Von Miller's a thing. Like, they were just keeping him there and keeping him high and dry instead of trying to help him create plays for him to help that offensive line try to block. I didn't see any of that all game. But I've seen that in Kansas City. I've seen that there. So I don't know why they didn't do that. You know, like it was questionable play calling, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm saying, so the coaching staff definitely didn't have their best game, but they were winning though. I mean, what can you say?
They did the thing. Now the question is, how you build from this? Now it's like, okay, you no expect to make the Super Bowl, but now it's like, okay, fine. What do you do next now? How do you build up in this again? But we spoke about this already. That's the one thing I want to know. And I think this obviously is going to be very interesting. I can't really cover it actually. Very, very interesting. But it's a great game, great Super Bowl. I enjoyed it. We all did. It was definitely interesting, and I can't wait to now the withdrawal comes in.
Yeah, the withdrawal comes in. As bad as the season was, because this season was bad. It's still football.
Yeah, of course.
It's still football. And I like a life with football versus a life without football.
And you know what's more funny too? You know what's more funny as well? Despite great game, someone did not have a great game at all. In fact, someone didn't have a really good post game either. My friend Eli Apple. Eli Apple was getting roasted, rightfully so, by his cohorts and by social media because, first of all, it's one thing to talk crap.
He got memed up more than 50 Cent did.
Oh, and that was pretty bad. That was hilarious. That was so bad. But Eli Apple, they was cooking you, man. You was getting cooked on the field and off the field, and he had yet to respond yet. Especially Miko Harmon was giving him the work.
Him, Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas.
Oh, everyone was giving him the work.
Teammates were kicking it.
Yeah. It's one thing that if you were good, you can back it up, but you're not very good.
Yeah, you're one of the bigger busts that we can remember in recent memory. Yeah. You were part of that horrible cornerback class. I believe this was 2015. I think it was that year. Him, Vernon Hargraves, and Artie Burns, first-round cornerbacks who are all supreme, disgusting bust.
Especially Artie Burns.
All three terrible.
Of them. Our Francisco O'Donnell's couldn't stand him when he was in Pittsburgh. Could not stand him. But those videos were funny.
Even Vernon Hargraves went on and did something and had a low moment when he went and danced and cost the Bengals 15 yards because he wanted to dance. Mind you, he was inactive in the game. And he went out and danced with his teammates when his stupid ass was supposed to be on the field because you're not dressed. But again, three of the biggest busts you can remember, especially for corners. And Eli Apple thought he had the right to speak to players who are better than him. Well, except Miko Harmon. Miko Harmon sucks too. But yeah. So we usually don't do lows for just one game, but you are definitely
the loser of the week.
You are low key the Super Bowl MVP.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's it.
Damn, man. Well, the season's over, but we're never over.
We're not done, but
we're not done yet. We'll just, we'll be preparing for the offseason, for the draft. We also have special news to come up soon for our offseason as well. We'll talk to you about that later. Besides that, like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes. I want to do the old intro. Damn. We're on
who cares? Whatever.
iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Play Radio, at Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Be a part of the conversation. Until next time, folks, be well.
We'll miss you, football.